What's good? You too. How's everyone doing this lovely, whatever day I want to drop this shit? Is your boy Reg in the building? And my homeboy Trial with me.
Yeah, what up?
And today we are going to give our thoughts on Monie Love's Unsung episode. Sorry this is late, but better late than never and shit. Been busy as week. So yeah. So you guys should know who Monie Love is. She is a female MC from London. She got her start, rapping, rhyming with Queen Latifah. So this song Ladies First. And of course, she did that Monie in the Middle out like Monie in the Middle album 1990
Right.
and shit like that too. One of the first international female MCs. But then she had a kid, you know how that shit goes. She ended up like leaving the hip hop game a bit too early
Right.
and shit like that, face some politics as a female rapper. You know how the shit goes, so I don't even know how to even get into all that. But personally, this was a very good unsung episode.
Mm-hmm.
A
I like
lot of
it.
stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't know about Monie Love and shit like that, especially regarding like the abusive relationship part
Mm, right.
and whatnot. Because like some stuff I knew, like how she went into radio
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Like some stuff I knew about that, but other stuff like the whole second album process, the shit with Young Jeezy and shit too. I didn't know about that part
Mm.
and stuff too. But I felt like it was a pretty straightforward episode. What do you think?
I thought it was good. Um, just to have like her parents as I don't think I ever saw her parents in anything but her. But it's like the first time I'm seeing like her mom and dad, and they talking about how how she grew up, in London, and they moved from Jamaica to London, and how she grew up there with you know that was just a whole different environment. And then when her parents separated, she and her mom moved to Brooklyn, and how she when she came here, it was like a culture shock to her. And seeing how females dressed at that time with the door knocker earrings and the different hairdos and stuff, and you know um how she started in rap, and hooking up with the Native Tongue crew. And I knew all of that because I've seen interviews in the past with Monie, and she talked about, like, when she was dating Africa from the Jungle Brothers, and how he took her in, and De La and Latifah took her under her wing, and you know made her a member of the Native Tongue crew. And I was a huge Native Tongue fan, still am. With that whole collective with Tribe and De La and Chi Ali, and Jungle Brothers and them, and they that was like, you know the thing that was like somebody in the Unsung episode that said I was like the Wu Tang of that time, with the dashikis and the
Yeah,
chains and all that, and that's how we looked at them. They were like the positive, like everything that goes on now, like all the black excellence, and positivity and all that, the righteousness. That's what we looked at the Native Tongue crew as back then, and Moni fit right in with them. And her having making the first album. And I remember getting having that first album on cassette back in the day when I was younger. And Moni in the Middle was a huge song when that came out. The video, I used to see that always on Video Music Box. And It's a Shame, I remember getting the cassette single for It's a Shame, the remix. That didn't have the remix on the album. And it was just dope. Like, she was just a dope MC. And hearing her on Ladies First, on Latifah's first album. And that was just great. And I always thought she was underrated even then. And then she had her label issues.
of course.
And and you know how that goes. And doing this she got pregnant, she ended up getting pregnant. I remember seeing her on, I want to say it was either Soul Train, or it was Showtime at the Apollo. And she had her I remember seeing her, and she was already pregnant, and she had to, like, her stomach was out. And you know what I'm saying. And that was she still did her thing, like, she still performed well. And I think people made too much of an issue about it, you know for some reason. I don't know why that was like a huge issue
Mhm.
in rap. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause so many artists in pop music did the same thing, and they didn't give them that same type of flack.
She was
So
black.
yeah, what I mean. And I remember seeing that, and you know, I remember her like taking like she took taking time off, and then coming back in '93 with in the Word or Two album, and it was a different sound for her. It was more harder, more street edge. But she had her kid already, and she was more about motherhood and raising a family and putting those messages out on the second album, and I thought it was great. I feel like the Warner Brothers didn't promote it well though, and I remember going to the record store and buying the Born to Breed cassette single because it had like different mixes of that song, and Prince had produced that, and you had a Marley Marl remix which is on the album as a bonus track. You had Prince did the title track with her, and she talked about not wanting to work with Prince, and she felt like he wouldn't mesh well, with her because she was hip hop and he was, he was in other genres of music, and I think that was like I think that was Warner Brothers. I don't know if it was Warner Brothers like you know, doing some janky stuff with him, because he was already in beef with them. So maybe that was like part of it. Like they wanted Prince to work with a rap, and he wasn't really he wasn't really for hip hop like that.
Yeah,
And I feel like that was Warner Brothers like just playing games with him, And I thought it was dope. I thought just to have like Monie Love, like wow, Monie Love working with Prince, because that don't happen every day. And she's like one of the very few artists I can say like yo, like I worked with Prince, as far as like hip hop, and I thought that was it was like the stuff he did on there was dope. And again, but they just didn't promote the album because I feel like the album could have been um huge than it was, and you know then she now remember she took some time off again, and got on radio, and she was on Power 105 with Ed Lover from Young TV Raps. And I wasn't even listening to radio back then. I just remember hearing that she was on radio at that time, and she dropped a song. I want to say she dropped a single like in '97. Like
oh wow.
she didn't talk about that. I want to say she dropped a song like in '96, '97. At least the radio played it. Like Angie Martinez in '97, they played it. I don't know if it ever came out like on vinyl or anything, like a white label joint, but I remember hearing that song from her. Like I want to say that was '96, '97. But I always wish that she did come out with more albums and more music, and always thought she was a dope artist. And you know she talked about the issues that she had with her her baby daddy, and being in an abusive relationship, and trying to get out of that. And I heard her talk about that in like on the other interviews and stuff. And I know Kane alluded to like she had a relationship with Scrap Lover supposedly.
Yeah, some shit like
See
that. Yeah,
that I never knew about that. I didn't hear about that until the Unsung, and I know there was the whole thing about her and Tupac, and Miss Jones had brought that up, and she didn't mention that at all on the Unsung. And but she had went through some stuff and she overcame it, and I think that's great that it made her a stronger person now. And having her kids, having her oldest daughter and her youngest one, her second youngest daughter in the Unsung, was like that was nice to see them talk about like their mother's achievements and stuff like that, and how far she's came in her career. And I thought it was good. I thought it was a good Unsung, and it needed to be told. I don't these are the Unsungs I like, the ones that about the artists that people don't discuss.
right.
When it comes to female MCs in the game, it's always Little Kim and Foxy, and I don't hear enough about Moni Love or Yo Yo or Rob Digger, and those are the MCs that I want to hear more about. We need to hear more about their life story, and everybody has a story to be told, and I'm glad that they told Moni's story.
Yeah, I'm glad they told Monie's story too, because it needed to
Yeah,
be heard and shit.
yep.
Um, the whole shit with Young Jeezy too. I never
Right.
really.
That was yo. I don't. I remember hearing about that, and I'm like, I never liked Young Jeezy, so it just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? I never cared for him. I have friends that they love his music. I never saw the appeal to him. I don't think like the way his voice sounded. Just I don't like it. I
Yeah,
never like. Yeah, he just sounded like he was always sick. You know what I'm saying? Like why is
couldn't
his
shit.
voice? His voice is hoarse. Why does he sound like that? You know, and I never liked none of his. I never cared for none of his albums or anything like that. And that whole thing, like I looked at the footage and I'm like, maybe Monie was super mad. I don't know if it was that serious to you know what I'm saying. I probably would have just ignored him, but she was super mad. Like it's like anything he said, she was just ready to jump on him. You know what I'm saying? But um, I don't feel like hip hop was dead. I think like that. I mean, if anything, you should ask Nas why he came out with an album called Hip Hop Is Dead because he felt like at that time, the game was done. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that to me is not even a good Nas album. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
everybody from the South was coming for nonsense in that album.
right. And but I mean, there was a lot of trash that was coming out at that time. Like for me, at that time, it was the mixtapes. I was just heavy into the, G Unit and Dipset and D Block and whatever Kanye was coming out with and Sean Price. That's what I was listening to. I didn't really pay attention to all that other mainstream crap. In my white tee and Shorty Low and all that. I didn't care for that. I think all that was garbage. And I could see why Nas, came out and felt like that. But I think Nas should have been answering that question instead of Jeezy. You know, like let's ask Nas why he felt like hip hop was dead back in what is that 2006 or whatever.
Yeah,
So I think Jeezy was the wrong person to ask. You know what I'm saying? And she just got heavily pissed off with him. So
shit, it is what it is and shit.
you know,
But yeah, man. I think we talked about pretty much everything on this episode
yeah,
and
this
shit.
was
But yeah,
dope.
this was a dope episode.
Yeah,
I know this a couple hours ago they showed the Thelma Houston episode, which I'm
yeah.
gonna send that to you probably later on, maybe Tuesday
All right,
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably drop this probably Monday or Tuesday and stuff too. I'm just so
dope,
tired right now. I'm gonna lay down after this.
dope.
But I appreciate this as usual, bro.
All right,
Make sure y'all catch that Unsung episode and
yes.
stay tuned for more content. Peace.
Peace.